Honestly, it's been over a year. We should be able to talk about this episode without talking about this. There are two versions of this episode. Only one scene has been altered between the two. The one where a fan-favorite background pony, Derpy Hooves, is named and actually speaks. So what happened? It's been so long you probably picked your own story by now. But there are several retellings of events. First story. Parents complained about this offensive behavior, and Hasbro was quick to censor this. I don't buy it. First of all, parents rarely care what their children watch, especially if it's just a cartoon. Just watch a SpongeBob episode like House Fancy or The Splinter if you don't believe me on that one. Secondly, there have been plenty of lovable klutzes throughout all of cartoon history without complaint. Even on this very show. And considering some of the more clearly offensive things in the show that wasn't censored, this seems far-fetched at best. Story 2. The voice actress accidentally mistook Derpy for a male and redid the voice as female. That seems more logical, considering that the new voice is more distinctly feminine. However,
There'll be 4 bits. I didn't put those in my bag.
they've never really cared about it in the past. On top of that, if that was the only problem, they probably wouldn't have cared, and they wouldn't have changed the inflections or the word choices or removed her name. And now for the official story, given by Amy Keating Rogers herself and submitted to Equestria Daily. Link in the description. She originally wrote the scene starring Ditsy Doo, who was previously established as a klutz, but she was instructed to change the name as a fandom nod. And the scene was longer as well. The scene was made shorter simply because the script was too long, which is totally believable as the scene as it stands isn't too important to the story. However, Amy Keating Rogers didn't know that derpy could also mean retarded instead of just klutzy, which to this day I have never seen that word being applied that way. I seriously doubt that she purposely offended anyone, considering that she herself has a mentally disabled son. She did get some angry letters explaining it, and so did Hasbro and the Hub. Of course, they got much more praise than they did hatred, but still, they decided to play safe rather than sorry, and this is the fallout. I guess that raises the question, is derpy offensive, and or should she have been censored? First, let me say that there are some people in the world who will find anything offensive, and everything out there is probably offensive to someone. Let's change the question. Is derpy offensive to mentally handicapped people? I don't know. I'm not mentally handicapped. What I do know is that derpy was shown being allowed to help and treated as somewhat of an equal to Rainbow Dash, which is a good message. And censoring the mentally disabled from our media is not a good message. I have a very odd relationship with censorship in general. For every dumbass who complains at nothing, there's another dumbass who uses vulgarity to purposely offend. And then there are those dumbasses who use censorship to silence free speech. But sometimes without censorship, you get things like The Brave Little Toaster, a kids movie with extremely depressing themes, talk of suicide, and a scary as hell clown for absolutely no reason. I'll end it at this. It is of my own personal opinion that this should not have been censored. Maybe the original could have been misconstrued, but Hasbro has not censored more blatantly offensive things. Whether or not it was censored, the only outcome was Hasbro looking worse for the wear. For what it's worth, Derpy came back in Magical Mystery Cure for multiple appearances, and we could probably look forward to seeing her quite often in Season 4.